Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. And in this video, I'm going to have a discussion of a TED Talk by Dr. Devi Shetty titled, It's Not a Solution If It's Not Affordable. Introduction to this TED Talk. Poverty, health, and income opportunities are closely intertwined, particularly in developing countries. The importance of a strong health system remains undiminished, even as challenges for managing health have become more complex. While some of the issues are common across health systems, India's health system has certain additional features that make it particularly challenging. Despite these challenges, a number of interesting business models have developed to provide low cost care without compromising on quality of care. One among them is Narayana Healthcare, founded by Dr. Devi Shetty, Dr. Prasad Shetty. Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty, the king of real hearts, a renowned cardiac surgeon and an Indian philanthropist, he speaks at TEDx Gateway in 2013 about providing pioneering quality medical care at affordable prices. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Dr. Shetty's TED Talk. We are going to analyze Dr. Shetty's TED Talk. Now, let's have a discussion point wise. And the first point, which Dr. Shetty talks about, is price tag to human life. Dr. Shetty is a cardiac surgeon by profession. He begins his speech about the need for cardiac surgery for $800. He says that his job is to put a price tag to human life. Then he talks about his profession, how he deals with the patients of all ages. He says that most of them are little kids. When he tells a mother that her baby has a hole in the heart, he needs an operation, she has only one question: how much will it cost? Dr. Shetty says it will cost 80,000 rupees. This is the price tag of human life about which Dr. Shetty remarks here. This is what the doctors do from morning till evening, putting price tag on human life, according to Dr. Devi Shetty. Then further, he speaks about heart attacks. Dr. Shetty comments that Indians are genetically 3 times more vulnerable for heart attack. We develop heart attack at a younger age. The average age of his patients in England was 65. In India, it is 45. He has seen a father bringing his son for heart operation. Speaking on the statistics of heart surgery, Dr. Shetty counts that only 120,000 heart surgeries are done a year. What, what happens to the remaining 1.9 million people? Further, he says that our government spends only about 1.1% of GDP on healthcare, slightly more than sub Saharan African countries. This is what he comments on the heart attack in India. Later, he talks about the alternative way of funding in healthcare and its impact. Dr. Shetty thinks that we have to look at alternative way of funding healthcare. Around about 10 years ago, government of Karnataka was convinced to launch a health insurance called Yashaswini. 1.7 million farmers were convinced to contribute 5 rupees per month according to that insurance policy. 11 cents, 11% per month, and government agreed to become the reinsurer. As a result of this, in 10 years, over 4.5 lakh farmers had varieties of surgeries, and 60,000 farmers had heart operation, all because of the power of 5 rupees per month deposited or donated by the farmers. Dr. Shetty tries to convince the policy makers where 850 850 million people, million subscribers who are spending about 150 rupees just to speak on mobile phone. If they can contribute at least rupees 20, and like this 850 million people's healthcare can be covered. When this kind of massive transformation happens, then everyone has the healthcare, according to Dr. Devi Shetty. Now, later, he speaks about the concept of health city and the super specialty heart hospital. Dr. Shetty suggests the change in the way the hospitals are built. He says 12 years ago, a concept of health city was introduced in Bangalore. The plan was to have 5,000 beds in one campus with the infrastructure to see about 10 to 12,000 outpatients per day. The first building is the Heart Hospital, which has the infrastructure to do 60 heart operations in a single day. But we have 100 towns in India with a population of 500,000 to 1 million. They can't afford to have this big health city. They need a super they need a small super specialty heart hospital. So, a 300 bed super specialty heart hospital was built for $6 million, and that hospital has come up in Mysore by Narayana Healthcare. Speaking further about this, Dr. Devi Shetty says that once the surgery is done in Mysore hospital, the patient is not taken care in the ward by the nurses. Patient is cared by the spouse, the wife or the husband. Generally, a typical heart patient on the fifth day is ready to go home. But as far as the Mysore hospital is concerned, Dr. Devi Shetty remarks that on the fifth day of the surgery, wife will be called and given her one plastic bag filled with medicines and ask her to take care of her husband. Now, she has no idea how to do this. For this, Dr. Devi Shetty says that they worked with Stanford University and developed an audio video based curriculum to train the spouse to be the caregiver so that there will be a continuity of the care when the patient goes home. Further, speaking about the scope in health sector. Speaking on the scope in health sector, Dr. Shetty comments that the economy of the 21st century will be driven by the health sector because the health sector is one industry which can create millions of jobs. For one quarter of $1 million turnover in IT industry, they create about 7 to 10 jobs in healthcare industry. To get a $250,000 turnover, we need to hire more than 250 people, and the majority of the people in health sector are unskilled people. So we hire very small people of extremely skilled and semi-skilled people, according to Dr. Devi Shetty. Further, he talks about stable society. Dr. Devi Shetty further says that if you want a stable society, if you want a better future, we need to create jobs for whom? We need to create the jobs for rural women. As an organization, he says, as an organization, we have over 13,000 employees across the country, and at one point of time, over 90% of our employees were women, according to Dr. Devi Shetty. He also argues that if a man is paid 6,000 rupees salary to clean the floor in the hospital, he will spend 3,000 rupees on himself and 3,000 rupees to the family's welfare. Instead, if the same job is given to his wife and 6,000 rupees salary, she will spend the the entire 6,000 rupees on the family's welfare. Like this, Dr. Devi Shetty he favors women empowerment, and these empowered women will discipline their children, and when these children they grow up, they build a great nation. This is the power of job creation for the women, and obviously it will lead to the stable society and the better future. Further, he speaks about the role of information technology in hospitals. The next big thing is healthcare is not going to be a magic pill or fastest scanner or a new operation, according to Dr. Devi Shetty. Dr. Devi Shetty says that it is going to be utilizing IT to make the hospital safer for the patients. He comments that hospitals are not safe because the patients getting admitted to an American hospital today is 10 times riskier than skydiving. We need to make it safer. For this, Dr. Devi Shetty emphasizes the usage of IT to make it safer. We are investing heavily on iPad based solution, replacing the chart with the iPad, which will follow the patients, and we are investing heavily in developing stimulators to train the critical care nurses to be better critical care nurses. If we can train a pilot to fly F-16 fighter plane with the simulator, we can easily use a simulator to train the critical care nurses. This is what we are trying to do, Dr. Devi Shetty says. For all this thing to happen, the cost has to come down. The cost of healthcare has to go down. And finally, he says, if the solution is not affordable, it's not really a solution. That means to say it should be cost effective, then only we can think about a great change in the healthcare industry. To continue with the usage of technology in the healthcare, Dr. Devi Shetty says, we invested heavily on technology to get the information. We have advanced Oracle ERP solution on a cloud. We have hospitals in 22 locations. Every day by 12 o'clock in the afternoon, all the doctors, all the senior administrators, they get the SMS on the mobile phone with yesterday's revenue, yesterday's expenses, the debtor margin. For us, looking at the profit and loss account at the end of the month of a hospital is like reading the postmortem report. Whereas having the profit and the loss account on a daily basis is like a diagnostic tool which will help us to reduce the cost, which Dr. Devi Shetty suggests here. This is why our organization is profiled at the Harvard Business School as one of the case studies and occupied the front page of the Wall Street Journal for 4 years. Now, speaking on the best thing in the concluding remark, Dr. Devi Shetty says that we believe that India will become the first country in the world to dissociate healthcare from affluence. India will prove to the world that the wealth of the nation has nothing to do with the quality of healthcare its citizen can easily enjoy. Then reason out saying why we can do it when other developed countries can't do it. It's mainly because we produce largest number of doctors, nurses, medical technicians in the world. Outside the US, we have one of the largest number of US FDA approved drug manufacturing units. We have everything going for a phenomenal healthcare delivery, but never give the credit to the policymakers who you think made it happen, Dr. Devi Shetty comments. To conclude to conclude his TED talk, Dr. Devi Shetty says he remarks everything good in this country happens by default if there's one country which is directly managed by the God, that is my country. Now, let's recollect the key points of Dr. Devi Shetty's TED talk. Number one, he speaks about the price tag for human life. Then he talks about heart attacks. Then he talks about the alternative way of funding healthcare, the concept of health city, and the Mysore multi-specialty hospital, training for spouse after heart surgery, scope in health sector, stable society, better future, role of information technology in hospital, and the heavy investment of technology in hospitals. And finally, he talks about the next big thing, and he concludes his speech saying everything good in this country happens by default, and if there's one country which is directly managed by the god, that is my country. So, dear friends, this is about Dr. Devi Shetty's TED Talk. Thank you so much for watching. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.